Get ready with me while we talk about one of the most common struggles after you leave a narcissist: self-blame and guilt. Okay, so let's talk about a few reasons why this even happens in the first place. Also, forgive me for looking like a hot mess. I just got back from the gym and grocery shopping. So this doesn't happen in every situation, but oftentimes they can already start setting up the fact that you'll feel guilty for leaving them well before you're even ready to do that. My ex would oftentimes randomly throw in the conversation about how he wouldn't take care of himself mentally if I ever left him. He was diagnosed with a particular mental health disorder, and so he was on medication. He refused to go to therapy, but he was at least taking medication. Pretty much he was implying that he would stop taking that if I ever left him because he wouldn't have a reason to take care of himself anymore. There are so many problems with that statement. First of all, nobody should be taking care of their mental health for anybody except for themselves. You are not responsible for anybody's mental health except for your own. Other common things that I hear is just about this whole abandonment issue. You know, they always have some sort of Sally sob story from either their upbringing or just all of their other exes and how everybody's just abandoned them in their life. So naturally, the last thing that you ever want to be is another notch in their abandonment belt. Here's a rule of thumb: choosing you and choosing to not be in a relationship that continually causes you harm, that's not abandoning someone. That's choosing your own peace. And there is nothing to feel guilty about for choosing your own peace or doing whatever you need to do to stay safe. But I would probably say that the most common thing that people feel guilty about is for staying as long as they did. And yes, we do have to work on that one in particular. Look, part of this healing journey, part of this healing journey is acknowledging the fact that there are obviously things that have happened in our life that allowed us to accept this kind of behavior from an individual. And yes, that 100% needs to be corrected so we don't get into this cycle again. The dangerous part with this is that sometimes we can accidentally start getting into this place where we feel like we deserved everything that happened to us because we stayed as long as we did. Now look, should we have left sooner than we did? Sure. That still doesn't mean that you deserved it. But what it does mean is that there's some sort of narrative or some sort of story that you were telling yourself in this relationship that outweighed the abusive behaviors that you were accepting. Come back for part 2 where we'll discuss how to figure out what that story was and how to move towards grace and forgiveness towards yourself.